The University of Pennsylvania Quakers will be playing the George Mason Patriots at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, November 6th, televised on ESPN Plus at the Eagle Bank Arena. This is a 10,000 seat arena, so it'll be an electric atmosphere. Penn is playing against Dave Paulson, the coach of George Mason. He won a national championship at Williams College as Division III coach, and at Bucknell he beat Arizona and Purdue on the road. So it's an impressive coach that Penn's playing against. George Mason last year had a disappointing season, but they're projected to be better this year. They're ranked 117th in KenPom to start the year, and they're picked 4th in the Atlantic 10 Conference. Last year they won 9 Atlantic 10 games. They returned their top 8 scorers from last year, so that's why they're projected to be picked higher. Last year, offensively, they're 238th in offensive efficiency. It was because they didn't shoot the ball particularly well. They shot 43% from the field and 32% from 3. They were sub 250 in both those categories, but they were a good free throw shooting team at 74%. Last night, they did not have a good night against Johns Hopkins offensively. They only had 6 assists to 21 turnovers, and the only guys were Justin Keir and Otis Livingston. Those were the only guys to score more than 2 field goals. So they don't really move the ball that well, or at least the assist to turnover ratio is not that good. Even last year, they were 9 assists per every 10 turnovers. So that was not good. They were 282nd in that category of assist to turnover ratio. And last year they couldn't really shoot. The problem with the shooting, they have some good shooters like Grayer, Livingston, and Marr shot 30%, but that were shot 30% or better from 3-point range. But those were the only guys who were able to do that. So but this year they're projected to be better because they return that experience. Otis Livingston is just a dynamic scorer. He's one of the best players in the country, even though he's only 5'11". He can dribble, he can dance on, he can shoot off the dribble. He's like Isaiah, a little mini version of Isaiah Thomas. I mean, he has that kind of step to his game, and he does everything for the team too. He scored 17.3 points a game. He also had 144 assists too. That was impressive. And Grayer's a 6'5" guard who's good rebounder. He got 7.3 rebounds per game. Even in a bad defensive season for George Mason, the one thing they did pretty well was they played defense without fouling, and they only had like 16 fouls a game, which was like top 60 in the country. And the defensive rebound, they got 75% of the defensive rebounds, so that's what they do there. Even their tallest start, Jared Reuter's is a 6'7" guy who is gonna play the 5, but he weighs 260. He's the UVA transfer. He's a big guy in the middle. You got to play against him. But anyway, they're 239th in defensive efficiency. They just weren't nasty. They allowed 45% from the field, 51% from 2, 35% from 3, and teams got 12.3 assists for every 10 turnovers. That's 295th in the country. So Penn can really win this game if they just stay patient offensively and play defense without fouling, and if they just move the ball well and just every possession has to be a good possession, because I don't want to be chasing the rebound every single time. George Mason can run in transition too. If Livingston's just a full head of steam, you don't want that at all. So it'll be a great challenge, a great environment to play in, but Penn has the talent to win this game. Even though they lost the senior leaders of Caleb Wood, Matt McDonald, and Darnell Foreman, they still have A.J. Broder, Antonio Woods, Ryan Betley, and Max Rothschild, who are starters, all returning this season. So it'll be a fun season, and hope the Quakers win.